Counting. Quiet on set.
Hello. Welcome to Essential Living with Pilar. I am Pilar. This is the second episode of this magical journey of self-discovery, because that's how I look at it. It's a path of searching and knowing both the inner and the outer of ourselves. We can't really do much in the outer until we go within and take that actually more precarious journey into the catacombs of our inner psyche, our inner spirit. And then once we discover that pot of gold at the end of our inner rainbow, then we can project that out into our lives and make everything better, and radiate that into our world and make a difference in this otherwise chaotic environment we live in. And before we go into other episodes where we'll go exploring different therapies, different modalities of healing, because the show is about essential living, to me means all things that are essential for a great life of health, wealth, and joy and happiness and self-expression. Those are the pillars of a balanced, happy life. And we'll be exploring different therapies, different healing modalities, energy healing, what that means and how to use them, what is it really like. Everything we always wanted to know, but we're afraid to ask. So I just want to share what I know with everyone, so we can all play and have a better time. So today, I wanted to explore the concept of consciousness. That's a word that's very common, but what does it really mean? Yes, our consciousness, we are conscious beings. We are aware. We are aware that we are alive and we function, and we notice our environment. We notice sometimes, but not always, what's going on within our inner environment. And consciousness really means what we give our attention to. And our attention is composed of what we're thinking about, what we're feeling, what we're speaking, and what we're doing. All of those things comprise our focus and our attention, and therefore our consciousness. And noticing the mass consciousness that is out there, and all you got to do is stick your head out the window a little bit and you see how out of balance it all is. I just wanted to bring that up today for us to start being more mindful of our own consciousness and what we focus on, because it's very easy to get caught up in what other people are thinking and other people's opinion, even believe other beliefs and accept that within ourselves. And that affects us in a very deep way. We're very susceptible to opinions. We're very ready always to accept something that we hear as truth. And I heard once somebody said, and I forget who, is that all you have to do to get people to believe something is to have two people talking about it. And especially with the amount of time that we spend on social media these days, automatically accepting what we see, or even what some of our friends may post, whose opinion we trust for whatever reason, we may take in something that isn't ours or that is not true. So I want to kind of start us on a little bit of homework for ourselves on this journey, that this inner journey that I'm asking you to join me with, because it's no fun to play alone. To start exploring what you give your attention to on a regular basis. And that also will, so I want you to take a little inventory in the next couple of days. So I'm going to give you an assignment. And at the end of the day, write down the percentage that you spent of the time of the day on things you like, what makes you feel good, what is empowering and enlightening for you, versus how much time you spent in the craziness of other people's consciousness, in negative conversation, in fear-based thoughts, and all of that. Kind of take a little time to kind of keep a little journey, a journal of that, because that affects how you feel, how you think throughout the day, and it'll just keep running like just random, and it'll start picking up momentum in your own consciousness. And next thing you know, you'll be either really happy about something, which would be good, but most of the time, if we pay attention to external things, we'll end up being caught up in it, getting caught up in the current of the mass consciousness that's out there, and that has a very negative effect on our health. And we do need our health. In order to embark and enjoy this journey called life, health is important. But it's not just, our physical health is the last repository. Our physical body is the end up of our mind and our mental actions, our emotional states, that over time creates a chemical situation in the body. Our endocrine system will generate certain chemicals that'll either be helpful or harmful. And this is a whole journey, because it's not just spiritual. We're just spiritual beings in a physical body, so we have to deal with the physical body and our true beings. We are vibrational beings. So now science is finally catching up with the fact that we are indeed vibrational beings, that what was once just called foofy, airy-fairy stuff is now being proven scientifically. So we attract what we think about, and we attract it with our feelings. So we now know that what we radiate outward with our thoughts, which creates that image, is like the mental lens that we take a picture of, and that goes into our, that's processed by our brain, which is the instrument of our consciousness. Once that image is imprinted, then we react to it. We react to it with a feeling, and that starts to generate a momentum. And that's what I want to bring to your attention, is what vibrational momentum are you creating for yourself that is affecting your day and how you think, how you react, how you live your life. And so I want you to do that little introspection just to start, because we're going to be bringing in, like I said, different health modalities that we can do for our physical body that also do work on all aspects of us, but we have to start with the beginning, and that is what we give our attention to. That includes what we watch on television, what we listen to, what music we listen to, what conversations we engage with, and it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And I like the analogy of going down the road, and you're fine in your lane and you're going along your trip, no problem, and you get distracted and you get onto the rumble strip, and you hear that loud noise and it just jerks you back into the center, and that's your warning. And you do that right away because you don't want to end up in the side of the road or in the other, with an oncoming vehicle. And it's a lot easier to get into the middle first than it is to catch the car when it's wrecked and into the bushes. So that applies to everything. I like to think in life that all things are one, and everything has like a very simple analogy. And so that's something that I want you to be mindful of, because we are vibrational beings. We're always reverberating. It's like the rock that falls into the pond and creates those ripples. We don't see that, but that's our vibration. When we think a thought or we speak a certain word, be it kind. If it's kind, then you're going to reverberate that kindness into your own sphere and out into the environment that you're in. And But the first one that always gets affected is you, because we always live in our own bubble. Our mental, kind of our mental aura in a way, or bubble, egg, whatever you want to call it, is relatively close to the body, but our emotional part is really wide, like as wide as we can spread our arms, at least. And when we're really in a emotional sort of very strong feeling, it can actually even reverberate even further out. So we do affect but we're always within it. We're always within us. So the saying is like, well, we create our own heaven or we create our own hell. So that's something to be aware of and start paying attention first, because as that happens, that's what's happening within your body. That's what is creating either peace and harmony and relaxation, or discomfort in some way that, if repeated and perpetuated, is going to start bringing up a certain more acute discomfort until it becomes a disease. We are like tuning forks. And see here, when you hit a tuning fork, it has a little vibration. Just from one thing, it goes on. And it's going to vibrate and join up with the same vibration. If you have another sound or another energy, which is a little different, it's going to match up with whatever is out there matching it and come back and return to you. So it's important to be mindful of what we're putting out there, because yes, the law of the circle works. What comes around goes around. It's not just a little saying that was created. It is true, but it picks up more of the same. Birds of a feather flock together, and that works both with people, the friends we associate with, the company we keep, and it is that you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. So spend a little time doing some inventory also on who you spend the most time with, and be brave enough to sift through that. Because that is even, sometimes it's very difficult, because oftentimes it's people that you're close with that you need to redefine that dynamic because they expect certain things from you. And as you start working on yourself and changing, they may or may not like that. But it is important for you to take care of your own environment. And your own environment is consisting of your consciousness. Back in, when I like using the crystal ball as an analogy, because the crystal ball is really a very clear sphere, which should really be a reflection of our consciousness. And back in the day when it was more common to be the, what would they call it? I forgot the terminology for people who use the crystal ball as to gain wisdom and clarity. Is just a tool that allows the mind to get clear to receive the actual wisdom. And the clearer it is, free of clutter and external influences, the more you're going to get your own answers and find your own truth, which is going to lead to finding your own inner path and facilitate your earthly path and make it either a joyful event or a rocky, very difficult climb. And it is important to keep your own space in a harmonious way. So check around in your home, make sure that you have a space that you can give yourself a little quiet reflection time. Because that is the beginning of self-awareness. And it is not always the easiest thing. That's why I want to share all these tools for us, because not only to share them with you to help you find your own way, because I'm not going to tell you where I think you should go. I'm just going to share what has helped me so you find your own way. Using tools like we talked about last time, like essential oils, to balance in harmony And essential oils are great as a tool to begin with because it gets your mind and your thoughts and your feelings in harmony. They work right away. So it's always good to have those. If you're interested in finding out more about those, please feel free to contact me through my website or email me, and I'd be glad to share that with you. But you need your tools. You need your tools to make your life easier and more enjoyable so you can embark on this journey in this university called life. And it is a step-by-step. Sometimes it's a little bit of light Johns in a beautiful valley full of pretty flowers, and sometimes it's a bit of a climb with a lot of switchbacks, and you get scraped up, and you need everything that, all the help you can get for yourself not to get discouraged, and have the courage to not only make your life better, but make your own environment better too. And that is what I want to start instigating and inculcating in your thinking and in your feeling, just to start doing a search. Keep a journal. Get a nice little notebook that's not too big or cumbersome, that you can bring with you. I like to actually physically write instead of typing into a pad or some other, or a computer or whatever, because the actual physicality of writing with your hand, which is becoming a dying art, but I'm not letting it go, actually is more helpful in bringing out of you your own truth, to really kind of purge whatever is in there that you want to clean house, and really focus on what your consciousness is. I was reading a book and I saw this great analogy that I really like, and it's just like, man's consciousness is his most prized possession and is the one least closely guarded. And it's true, because we lock our doors in our house, we lock our cars, we keep our wallets and our possessions, everything that's important, close to us and protected. But we lend our attention out there to any old thing. And it's like literally thinking of ourselves as this beautiful brand new house or building, and leaving the doors wide open and the windows wide open, and any old bum or vagrant or squatter can come in, and next thing you know, your house is taken up by people you can't get rid of. Good luck getting them back out. They destroy the house, they get it dirty, and not only is it a lot of work to pry them out of there because they're really moved in, but then you have to fix the damage. So think of your world as this, and your house in itself, but think of your own consciousness as your temple, as this precious, beautiful, beautiful place, this beautiful building, this nice, pristine crystal palace, if you will, and just be mindful of what you let in. Be mindful, mind your own business, because literally that is an important piece of wisdom, because instead of paying attention to what's out there so much, if you just take care of your own world, your own space, and your own consciousness, and are really protective of that, and you're way ahead of the game. And if you are centered in that peace and that harmony, that you've managed to have your palace, your crystal inner palace, clean and pristine, like this beautiful place that only you can go, your sanctuary, then that is what you're going to radiate outward. And the world right now needs all the help it can get, as we can tell very quickly by just looking around a little bit. Be informed, be aware of what's going on around you, but don't swim in that ocean. Stay within, stay generating your own creation, because what literally you put your attention to grows. Literally, that's how it is. It's proven by science. It's not just metaphysical chit-chat anymore. It's not just like a saying. It's not woo-woo. I really don't like that term, because woo-woo is now turning out to be real stuff. So what you put your attention on, what you focus on, you become. And what you think about is what you're creating. Your mind is putting out the thought, and your feelings are bringing it back in. We are magnets. We're radiating something, and it's taking a lap and coming back, taking a lap and coming back. And it knows exactly where to come back to. So since we are creators, our energy that we use in our thoughts, in our feelings, in the words we speak, and in the actions we take has our name on it. Not our physical letter name, but it has our personal stamp on it. And it's inescapable. The universe is, and the cosmos and the universal intelligence is all wise and all knowing. So we can't get away in secret with anything. It knows what we put out there. It's making its rounds, finding its friends, gathering them along the way, and coming back to us. So if we can be mindful of that, then we can be a little bit more choosy and more purposeful on our consciousness. And consciousness creates, period. What we put our attention on grows. You can have that example in a garden, in a recipe you prepare, in a project you work on. If you put your attention and you devote yourself to it, it blossoms. If you sort of do it kind of sort of, it doesn't go anywhere. But also if you put it doesn't matter what kind of attention you put on it, whatever is just putting your attention on it. So oftentimes we're creating what we don't want by obsessing with it. So anyway, that's your homework. Keep a little journal. I would love for you to journal every night and kind of keep track of yourself as we go through this process together, and add more things to it. And as you keep your own personal little book of what's going on with you, you'll be more able to really put the pieces together for you and see what works for you, what you don't need so much of, what you need to get rid of. But start with that little personal inventory, especially now that the year is winding down. Decide what you have created throughout the year that you want to keep, and also start to see what you want to let go of. Pretend that you're a tree now in the fall that's letting go of the leaves that it no longer needs. So you can go within and be introspective and create the new you for 2017. So that is your homework for now. We'll have a more interesting assignment next time we meet. And get your little journal, write it by hand. You'll be able to see how much more expressive you can be by handwriting your thoughts. And you don't have to write a whole big thing. Maybe just like a little 2, 3, 4 sentences a day before you go to sleep. And for those of you that already do that, try with your non-dominant hand. And it's going to feel really weird, but you'll be able, you're the only one that's going to look at it, so who cares, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. Start writing something with your non-dominant hand and see what you can dig up and what ideas come to you. You know, just write. You don't have to like think about composing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just put even words that are random, but just start getting things out of you. And enjoy it. It's actually really fun. So just give it a shot. You might be very surprised of what comes up for you. And see what you have hidden in the crevices of your consciousness as you clean house and clear the crystal ball of your mind to reflect the new you that we're all going to co-create together as we continue to meet and explore this journey together. Because I want company, and I'm sharing this because they say you teach what you most need to learn, and the better teachers are the better students. So let's do this, and let's enjoy doing it, and support each other because the world needs us. So I'll see you next time. Do your homework. Bye. Thank Thank you.